Hey everyone, Jenny Taft here. Before we start today's episode of Undisputed, I want to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Pacific Life. Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future or visit www.pacificlife.com. Now, let's start the show. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Undisputed Live from Los Angeles. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. It is week 1 of the NFL season. Good morning, guys.
Hi, Jen. Welcome back.
Good
morning.
Allow me to wish Undisputed happy birthday.
Yes.
We are entering year 4 here on FS1. And number 1, allow me to thank you for all you have given to this show. I thought I worked hard, but you have been with me every step of the way for 3 years. Jen, I've had, should I say it? I've had fun working with this guy.
Wow.
Man, this might
We
be
need to
the
make sure we're rolling.
Jen, this is the first time someone has congratulated me for putting foots in them on a regular basis.
I'm going to give you that just for this moment because I also want to thank our many faithful viewers.
Yes, absolutely.
For our ratings, which have risen steadily for each of our 3 years. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go.
Well, guys,
Don't think I'm taking it easy on you because you got your little goal. You got your little bling bling on.
We're back to work.
And back at each other. But seriously, guys, congratulations. You've
Thank
done
you.
an amazing job over the past 3 years.
Thank you.
And it continues this morning with tons to get to today, obviously. What is next for Antonio Brown and the Raiders? Plus, Skip and Shannon are giving you their Super Bowl predictions. First, though, let's start with the Packers. Last night, the NFL season kicked off with a defensive slugfest between the Packers and Bears. Aaron Rodgers and new head coach Matt LaFleur's offense, they did struggle against Chicago's defense. Rodgers was sacked 5 times and only passed for 203 yards and 1 TD. On the other side of the ball, though, Mitchell Trubisky not any better. 26 for 45 for 228 yards and a pick. The Packers did pull out the 10-3 win when it was all said and done, though, even if it wasn't all that pretty. Shannon, how impressive to you were the Packers?
It was encouraging. It's always encouraging when you can win a football game, Skip, and you don't play your best football. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was sharp, to say the least. He missed some throws early. His very first throw, Skip, he hit the tight end, Jimmy Graham, in the foot with the football. He missed some easy throws.
Real close to being a
pick six. He threw a couple early, had Devontae Adams for a first down. He threw it behind him. And even late in the ball game, when they really could have put the game away, he threw behind Scantling that would have resulted in the first down. They ended up having to punt the football back. Looking at their defense, and that was the concerns because I felt it was strength on strength, Skip. I look at the Packers offense against the Bears defense. Now we go to the Packers defense against the Bears offense. I'm not willing. I did see some encouraging signs from their defense. But for me, Skip, I'm going to hold off because I don't know if they're really, really that good because Mitchell Trubisky was really, really that bad. Skip, if I didn't know better, I swear this was a guy making his first NFL start. He played that bad. Skip, this is what the defensive back for the Green Bay Packers said, Tramon Williams. He said, we wanted to make Mitch play quarterback. We knew they had a lot of weapons. We knew they were very dangerous. We knew all of those things. But if we can make Mitch play quarterback, that we'd have a great chance. Skip, come on, really? Let that sink in. The guy says we wanted the dude to play quarterback. Skip, he is a quarterback. So in other words, we knew if we could shut down their run and make him have to throw the football, put the ball in his hands, because a part of playing the position of quarterback, Skip, is throwing the ball. We wanted him to throw the football, and by all indications, he was terrible at it. So it was encouraging. 10-3. This notion that teams, players, offenses, defenses, especially offenses, don't need to play in the preseason, Skip, is not true. For the simple fact, offense is about rhythm, it's about timing.
Yep.
It's hard for me to believe that you're going to do nothing but go against your team in practice. And then all of a sudden you're going to go from 25 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in a game that means something, which is the regular season. And I think it showed. Defense is all about reaction. So if guys miss here and there, that's fine. Just go get the guy with the football. But offense is about repetition, it's about rhythm, it's about timing. But, Skip, the Green Bay has to be encouraged. Mike Pettin came up with a great game plan. Now, he came, that tree of Rex Ryan. You saw some of the looks that he was giving last night, 2 edge guys, the rest of the guys standing up in the middle, come from one side, pan out to the other side. Those acquisitions that they made in the offseason, the Smith and Amos, Preston Smith, Zendarius Smith, and Anthony Amos paid huge dividends. Skip, they got a middle linebacker named Martinez. You don't know a whole lot about him.
Well, he's been there.
He's only his 4th season. But he doesn't get the recognition of a Keekly or Wagner or those 2 guys in Dallas.
He flies around.
But
he does. He's around the ball all the time.
You watch it.
Like him.
You watch it. He flash. Like you said, you like to see a guy flash. He can play.
He does.
He's a hard player in Jesse.
I don't know if he's Clay Matthews in his prime,
Yeah.
but
well, they play different positions, but he's sudden. 10-3. Game was a little sloppy for me. A bunch of punts, a bunch of penalties, but you can expect that early in the regular season, Skip, because like I said, these guys didn't play a whole lot. Nobody really plays a whole lot in the preseason. But Green Bay has to be pleased. The notion that they have Aaron Rodgers and they can win a ball game 10-3. You mean to tell me Aaron's like, you saw him on the sideline pushing Mike Pettin? Hell of a job. We can win games now with our defense. Just hold off, Aaron, because I think a lot of that had to do with Trubisky. Not saying that you guys are not going to be really good, but last night, Trubisky was really, really bad.
So wait a second. At the end of the game, maybe Aaron's body language was admitting, I can't really carry this team anymore. Now you guys can carry the team,
what he do.
right?
See, there you go, Skip. Why you do that?
Shoving the defensive coordinator.
So you deduced that.
Just from all your remarks, I think that's where you're heading.
No,
they have a defense now, they don't really need him to just fling it all over the lot. Try this throw and that throw and the other throw.
Kind of like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady has a defense for 20 years. Oh my goodness.
He's had an above-average defense.
Don't do that, Skip.
So, it did get hard to watch last night. Penalty, punt, punt, penalty, penalty, punt, punt, penalty. In the end, it was almost a throwback game to the first 100 years. Go back 100 years in the NFL, and it looked like one of the first games ever played, maybe in a snowstorm, right?
Maybe.
You were ultimately right about this game for once. You were ultimately right that Green Bay would prevail, barely.
That's what you call it, prevailing.
Yeah. I was half right because I said the quote-unquote new Packer offense, which actually looked quite a bit like the old one, but I thought the new Packer offense was in the wrong place, wrong time to try to show up and show out on opening solo stage night against the Bears defense in Chicago after Aaron Rodgers, to your point, had played 0 preseason snaps. And did they ever struggle on offense? In fact, they almost struggled as much or more than Mitchell Trubisky did. But where I went wrong, and you called me on this yesterday on the show, and you were right about this, how can you bet on Mitchell Trubisky to do anything, let alone against Green Bay on opening night? And I am kicking myself because I told you that I thought Mitchell Trubisky could figure out how to score 13, and I thought the Bears defense would score 7.
Right.
And they were close with that first little tipped-up ball, but it hit the turf.
Right.
And I thought it would be 20-17 home team. And I even tweeted at the end of the game, it got so bad that, to me, Aaron Rodgers versus Mitchell Trubisky is like me versus you on Undisputed. It's just a mismatch. So, do you realize, and I once covered the Bears for 3 years, so I have a pretty good feel for what their tradition is.
Yeah.
Do you realize the Chicago Bears cornerstone franchise in the National Football League hasn't had a real quarterback since Sid Luckman in the 1940s.
Yeah.
So we've gone 80-ish years.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a real quarterback because really their second best quarterback was Jay Cutler,
Yeah.
right? He had his moments,
Right.
but it's still Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt University. I still love him, but again, was he that guy? No. Did Jim McMahon have a season? He had one season,
Yes.
but he also was backed up by arguably the fiercest defense in the history of pro football in 1985, and they were celebrated before the game.
Right.
And I also tweeted, "Put Jim McMahon in." I know he's had concussion issues,
Right.
but he looked pretty good
Yes.
last night. So maybe he could have been a little better than Mitchell Trubisky. And then as that little skit that Peyton Manning did for ESPN goes with the Bears
Right.
guys, George Wendt, like he's asking them, so who are your quarterbacks? And they say, well, Sid Luckman. And then he says, yeah, I'll give you that one. And Jim McMahon was pretty good for a year. And then the other guy says, well, Bob Avellini for a week.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all they got. So I was horrified trying to watch this guy play last night because he missed 8 or 10 passes by 8 or 10 yards each, where you're just saying, what? What was, who are you throwing to that time?
That interception.
I don't know. Well, thank you. So that's the play of the game. And yet and still, you're all the way down to, what are you, 3rd and 10 from the Packers 16 with 2 minutes left, 2:03 left. And you actually have a throw for overtime, right?
Yeah.
Because it's still just a 10-3 game.
Right.
And what does he do on the interception, if we could see it again? He just stares down who was it, Allen Robinson,
Yes.
who he'd been throwing to all game,
Right.
but he just stares him down. And he's just completely double covered in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
There is no hope. So he throws a prayer that gets answered by Adrian Amos, who's his ex-teammate,
Right.
the safety from the Bears last year, now a Packer. And that's the ball game. And it was such a fitting way to end that game.
Mm-hmm.
So now I go back to Aaron Rodgers, and he's on, live on the NBC after the game, and he's saying, we have a defense. And I said, no, they had Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
Right? No, that's the bottom line to
Yeah.
the game. How can you rave about that?
Right.
You can't. You can put little to no stock. I don't even know what to take away for Green Bay, except they got the W.
Right.
And that's big. And you got a first-time head coach who's 39 years old, so he got a dub.
Yeah, and for me, Skip, that's what I was saying. I'm not really, because I do think the Packers moving forward, Skip, they can put pressure with the two Smith guys on the quarterback. But I'm not really ready to pass out a bouquet and say you arrived now because I thought Mitchell Trubisky was so bad. And he had Green Bay picked him early in the game, and the guy ended up dropping the interception once he hit the ground.
He did.
I'm like, dude, what are you?
I don't know.
You're falling off your back foot, and you try to throw a pass to Cordell Patterson. That's not what come on, really, Mitch? And I thought
It's
Matt.
funny, you take a guy out of the New England Patriots uniform and you put him in a Bears uniform, and all of a sudden he looks not very good, right?
Skip, you got to understand. You see how they used him? They used him on jailbreak screens. They used him on reverses. And now he goes to Chicago, and they try to turn him into a conventional receiver. And that's not what he
One
is.
time they just handed him the ball up the gut. And
On
he just
3rd and
got
1.
stymied.
And
right?
then on another, I thought Matt Nagy might have had one of his worst games play calling, Skip. Skip, on 3rd and half a yard, you run to try to slide the tight end out. You don't give him a second option if the tight end's not there.
Yep.
And then Trubisky gets stopped. Come on. And then you go for it on 4th down. Skip, what is that all about?
I don't know.
Come on, Matt Nagy.
They wound up with a 1st and 40, which became 2nd and 40,
40.
which became 3rd and 40.
Yeah,
And Matt Nagy says after the game, I don't have a 3rd and 40 play.
Nobody does. Skip, you have like 3rd and long, and that's normally between 10 and 13 yards. 3rd and 40, what play you want to call? Hey, coach, just run a draw.
Okay.
It was really bad on Chicago's part.
I want to give props to Aaron Rodgers because usually after a game like that, he would get defensive about any negative questions about their offense, and he immediately started getting negative questions, and he just absorbed them. He took them. He almost welcomed them because he wanted to rave about the defense.
Right.
But there wasn't much to brag about offensively.
No.
So he goes 2 of 12 on 3rd down,
Yeah.
so he wasn't any great shakes either
Yeah.
on any big downs. He completes 18 of 30, which is only 60%, which is not great. 203 yards, not
Very Dakish.
Come on, really?
Very Dakish.
Oh wait, the Dak who over the last 10 games last year had the most completions in the NFL?
All I'm saying, Skip Bayless, is that
interesting.
based on his history, that was a very Dak-like performance.
Really? Okay. So 2 of 12 on third down, and after the first quarter, 3 series in the first quarter, they had minus 12 yards. And to your opening point, I don't know what Aaron was doing. You want to talk about wild low? He's just throwing them in the dirt, and it looked scary bad.
The Bears have a really good defense.
They do.
But
I give you
but
that.
I thought on some plays, Aaron trying to make big plays down the field held onto the ball a little bit too long. And he's going to have to get away from that, Skip. The thing is that now, and I believe he will, because he believes that they have a good defense. And I believe one of the reasons he could remain so positive is because they had won the game.
Yep.
Because had they not won the game and he stunk it up like that, I don't know if he would have been as positive or put up a positive spin on it as he was able to. But because the defense played so well, like I said, they played well. But are they really this good? Or Trubisky was just that bad last night?
That bad.
We will see moving forward. But I believe with the 2 additions of the 2 Smith, and that's what, Skip, that's all you can really hope for. When you go out into the free agent market and you sign guys, you want to see them pay immediate dividends. They saw money well spent because for the longest time, Ted Thompson didn't believe in, paying off. I want to develop my guys where everybody else is going and getting free agents and putting themselves over the top. He's developing. But what happens when these guys don't develop? Well, Green Bay's like, forget that. We got Aaron Rodgers. We don't know how many more years. Well, they signed him to an extension, but let's just say 5-year window. Let's see how good we can get. Give him some help defensively. But because I think Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy squandered a lot of Aaron Rodgers' prime years by not having a defense that I believe is going to be formidable.
Shannon Sharpe just said no more excuses for Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
no,
right?
no.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
So that's over. So I love that. We got that on the record early on.
My goodness.
And by the way, on offense last night, it became a 2-throw game for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So early in the second quarter, it's 1st and 10 at their 26. And I did see a little whipped cream movement, if we could see that play that goes for 47 yards, Valdez-Scantling. It's a little fake reverse action, so you did throw that in there. But when Aaron let go of this ball, it looked like a Hail Mary to me because it looked like it almost slipped out of his hands.
It looked like
I thought it was a little duckish, like he just heaved it and he didn't have the best grip on it. But Valdez-Scantling, by the way, is 6 feet 4 inches tall, and somehow the ball just dropped straight out of the sky right into his hands. So I got to give you that one.
Right.
And that sets up what becomes the 8-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham, as we see right there. It's just, as soon as it left his hands, I said, that's going to be intercepted. That was my gut feeling because there are bears lurking everywhere, except he threw it just up high enough, and Jimmy Graham seemed to be the only one in that crowd who wanted that football.
Skip, I thought he was throwing the ball to Geronimo Allison, the 81 in the back. I don't, because the way he lofted it, like he was trying to catch him at the back of the end zone, and then Jimmy Graham just happens to jump up and take it away from him. But Aaron didn't play his best game, Skip, and I think he understands that. He knows moving forward he's going to have to play much better. I believe he will. But given the fact that they won a ball game against that team with that type of defense on the road, when he didn't play his best game, you know they can improve.
I'll give you that.
And guess what? They got a week off now.
Okay. And obviously, the Bears' defense is so good, it's going to keep them in just about every game.
Every game.
And the quarterback is going to lose them a bunch of games and leave Bears Nation extremely frustrated.
Yeah, watching that game, I was like, man, I can imagine how in 2000 how Ray and them felt. You give up
Ray Lewis
in that Baltimore defense with Rob Woodson.
And you were on the offense.
I was on the offensive side,
And
Skip.
the quarterback was?
Well, we started out with Tony Banks and we ended up with Trent Dilfer.
Okay.
But imagine you give up 10 points to Aaron Rodgers. Anytime you can give up 10 points to Aaron Rodgers or Brady or Breeze or one of these top-flight quarterbacks, you say, we got to win this game.
Got to win it.
You got to win.
Yep.
Because if you can hold an offense, basically you're saying if we can hold an offense to under 17, we should win the ball game. And that's what they did last year. They gave up the fewest points, averaged about 17 points a game. Well, they did your touchdown better in this game, and somehow you lost. You only got 3 points?
Yep.
3 points.
And remember, they sacked Aaron 5 times, which I think tied for the most of any game against Aaron for the Bears. And that should be good enough. 2 of 12 on third down. You should win that game at home.
Not when you go 3 of 15 on third down.
Yeah.
And that's what Trubisky did.
All right. So, Matt LaFleur's newfangled offense, you saw what?
I saw a lot of what Aaron Rodgers does. They're still dependent. I don't know if the Bears are really stout But Skip, they didn't really try to run the football. I mean, they'll come out and at the end, they were just trying to run the football to try to run.
47 yards rushing. Did great.
On 22 carries, so basically 2 yards a carry.
All right.
What is that? I'm telling you, you're not going to win very many games with that kind of average. And that few, I mean, they were like running the ball because they wanted to give Aaron a chance to rest his arm. They weren't running the ball with intent. They weren't running the ball with purpose. They're like, okay, let's throw a running here.
Yep.
Because the next 2 times we're going to throw the ball. That's not the way you win football games. But Aaron is happy that he has a defense. He's like, so now I see why Tom Brady been winning all them championships. If you can hold,
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, if you can hold somebody to 3 points, because if I'm not mistaken, the team in the Super Bowl that they beat only scored 3 points. Aaron Rodgers said, I can get you 10, which would have been a win.
Does New England play Mitch Trubisky every game?
They play a Jared Goff, who looked a lot like Mitchell Trubisky.
He had a bad game.
Okay.
And that was basically the same defense that just the Super Bowl before had allowed 40 to the backup quarterback for the Eagles, 40 points. And Tom Brady scored 33 and went home saying, God,
Hold on.
I scored 33 points and we lost because he benched Malcolm Butler for no apparent reason.
And Coach Belichick said, we could have been 19-0, and we only scored 17 points. We only scored 17 points. Yeah.
Did they win? Did he score enough? Did he go Mitchell Trubisky and not score enough?
Hold on. Mitchell Trubisky.
Did they lose 3-0? No, they won.
If you don't mind me,
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky was 4th in QBR last year. You love that stat.
I have no idea how.
Now, you do know how.
I don't.
You do know
I didn't like him before the draft, and I like him less now. And I'm on the record with that.
You like him less now. Now, you'd have loved it had he been able to pull the upset over Aaron.
They were better on defense than I thought they were. They were. They're decent on defense, but I'm going to give you no more than decent because, as I also tweeted last night, Aaron Rodgers didn't need his State Farm policy or agent last night during that game, but he's going to need it on October the 6th. You know what that is?
Skip, that defense flying around.
Week 5. You know where that is?
Y'all taking the L.
Jerry World. You better bring your State Farm agent for that game because some bad things might happen in that game.
They done got, you see who else in the State Farm commercials now? Who, old Pat Mahomes.
He made an appearance. Didn't have much to say.
And you see what they're saying?
Yeah.
What they call him? Old Pat Mahomey.
Mahomey?
Y'all gonna short me? Y'all know that's my homeboy.
I just want to know, when is Aaron going to get a new football agent? Because that guy's pretty goofy.
No. Watch. Packers gonna be a tough out, Skip. They might be. They might.
Really?
They
You
might
gonna switch your
They
pick?
might. I might.
Because we're about to make Super Bowl picks here in just a few minutes.
I might.
Yeah? Are you thinking? You're starting to go there, I think.
The one thing that I'm not, that you are, prisoner of the moment.
Really?
Yeah, get captivated by it.
Prisoner of the moment. I never flip. I never switch. I dig in, and you cannot dig me out. Yeah.
You dug in on the Bears beating Aaron Rodgers, and you
I
couldn't.
didn't dig in. That's just one night.
Yeah.
You got me. And we bet what on it? Nothing.
Because you were scared.
Nothing.
You were scared.
No,
I'm not betting no duo on no Mitchell Trubisky.
You didn't bring it up because you were scared too.
No, I wasn't scared. Skip, I'm not taking Mitchell Trubisky against Aaron
You're
Rodgers.
the one who makes all the bets that you lose. I want
Because you be scared.
to caution you on that.
no.
I want to remind you, every time you make the bet, you lose.
Okay. Well, because you scared to make a bet. You just want to sit on your winnings.
I'm only 42 cases.
That's all right.
So that's okay.
I'm going to get it back 5 cases at a time.
Okay, here we go.
Enough to fill up a swimming pool, huh?
I
might get 5 on back.
Yeah.
You give me some
I got
points.
enough cases I might be able to buy a place up next to him,
If you,
Bel Air.
If you give me a couple of points, I might be willing to do something for Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, with a few points.
Okay, I'll give you 2 right now. I'll give you 2.
The
You
line
can have
is
the Giants in 2. You just said a couple of points.
The line is 7.5.
You were trying to go yesterday into the Giants are going to steal this.
Hey.
Huh? I'll give you 2 right now.
I want the line. Give me the line.
The line?
Yeah.
Why would I give you the line when you just said give me a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I was thinking a couple of touchdowns, but I'll do the line.
Oh, somebody is already equivocating
No.
in the bet.
What you want me to give you 2 points when the line is 7.5?
You said it. I didn't.
7.5.
You were saying
But I
yesterday
let
it's
you
going to be the upset of the century.
With a couple of points, it might just be.
All right.
All that good birthday cheer evaporated that quickly.
Yeah, it did.
All right,
That's
well, a
too bad.
long week for these 2 teams to try to rebound. They don't play again until next Sunday. Green Bay will be welcoming the Vikings, and the Bears will be traveling to Denver. Up next for us, will Antonio Brown's run with the Raiders end before he ever even plays a game? That's up next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, this is Jenny Taft, and I have a quick message for you about Noom. Some people think that all diet and weight loss plans are the same, but that's because they haven't tried Noom. Noom is a new, totally different approach to losing weight and getting healthy that uses psychology and small goals to help you change your habits, making it easy to lose the weight and keep it off for good. Noom combines the power of technology with real human support, offering as little or as much help as you want along the way. And since Noom is an app, it's always with you and easy to use, which makes it super easy to stay on track and reach your goals. It's just as simple to get started. Just go online, answer a few quick questions, and they'll create a personalized program just for you. Noom can help you lose your old way of thinking about food and dieting. So what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/podcast, NOOM.com/podcast, and start your 14-day trial today. Change your habits, change your mind, change for good with Noom.
No mercy.
The soap opera rolls on in Oakland. Antonio Brown and Raiders GM Mike Mayock reportedly got in a heated argument Wednesday afternoon where Brown threatened to punch Mayock in the face and teammates had to physically hold AB back. Reports now saying the Raiders are planning to suspend the star receiver, which could jeopardize that guaranteed $30 million contract. Brown not at the facility yesterday. He even unfollowed both the Raiders and Derek Carr on Instagram. Derek's brother and former NFL quarterback David Carr said that his brother and other Raiders captains met with Gruden yesterday, told him they are fully behind the team's decision regarding Brown's future with the franchise. Last night, AB's agent Drew Rosenhaus said he thought those relationships could still be, quote, salvaged. Take a listen.
There's always two sides to every story. People have a tendency to blow things out of proportion. My job is to bring everything back, try and get things worked out. That's what I'm working on right now. And I am in touch with the Raiders. Nothing is final. That's really up to the Raiders. My hope is there won't be a suspension. I'm not aware of any as of yet. That's their decision. I'm working with them to try and avoid that scenario.
Rosenhaus is earning his money. Shannon, this got dicier faster than a lot thought. How do you think this is going to play out?
Oh, they're going to suspend him. Skip, Drew Rosenhaus, he doesn't get paid if AB doesn't get paid. He wants his 3% on that $30 million. So let's just go ahead and clear this up, and rightfully so. He's AB representative. He's supposed to work in it.
By the way, for Drew, this is a full-time job.
Absolutely. Skip, there's no two sides to this story. Antonio Brown has acted like a fool, a clown, since he arrived in Oakland. How's there two sides? You don't show up to practice. You don't go to walkthrough. In the CBA in 2011, you got the document and outline if you're going to find a player. Because if I find you, Skip, and I don't give the reason in black and white, well, I didn't do that. Now we got to, well, he said, she said, and now we go. No, I got it. On this date, you didn't show up to practice. On this date, you didn't do walkthroughs. What other side is there? I told everybody, Skip, when it was very unpopular, I say cut bait with him. Steelers waited 2 years too long.
You're going back to 2016.
Yeah, the Steelers waited a couple of years too long.
You're talking about after Facebook Live from the playoff locker room in Kansas City.
That was it for me because I know it wasn't going to get any better after that.
No.
Skip, the Raiders are going to suspend him. They suspend him, they're going to void that $30 million. He just cost himself $30 million by acting like a jackass. $30 million. Now, for me, Skip, if I'm the Raiders, I don't care if he goes to New England. I don't care if he goes to Temple.
So you're saying suspend him and cut him,
Skip,
right?
See, Mike Mayock has a great, he knows what's going on. John Gruden says, I hope it all works out. Because John Gruden is in the business of winning games. He understands that AB can help him win the game. But in the process, if you're going to make a deal with the devil, I don't know if I'm willing to make that deal, Skip. How does it get any better? You suspend him. None of his money is guaranteed because the thing that he wanted, Skip, was guaranteed. Remember, he did that IG Live? If your team got guaranteed money, tell them to call me. I'm not playing anymore with no non-guaranteed money.
That's true.
That's what he said.
Yep.
You suspend him. Now, that contract becomes void, And it's not guaranteed because AB is a vested player. If he's on the opening day roster, that game one, that money guaranteed. You can cut him if you want to, but he's going to get all his money. You suspend him now because the CBA says you can do that, and they put all those clauses in there. They knew because they knew, Skip. They knew it was just a matter of time. They give it to you, we give it right back. Does he understand? Because this is what owners do, Skip. They don't look at a Tom Brady that does everything right. They don't look at a J.J. Watt. They don't look at the guys that do everything right. They'll take one guy, an isolated incident like AB, and says, this is why we don't give y'all guaranteed contracts.
That is true.
They're just looking for a reason, Skip, and he gives them a reason why they shouldn't give guaranteed contracts. This is embarrassing. This is totally, Skip, I said, there's no way they're making it 3 years on this contract, because really it's a 3-year deal, but in actuality it's only 2 years. It was a 2-year deal for $30 million. I said, there's no way, given who he is, that they're making it 2 years, Skip. There was no way. But Skip, even I'm shocked and baffled that it's ended like that. It's gotten to this point so quickly.
You should be a little shocked and baffled because yesterday I tried to hold your feet to the fire and you said, well, I'll give it a year and a half.
I give it a year and a half. Skip, I thought they could at least make it through this year, and then, he'd get upset.
I got it.
But you said a year.
No, I said 5 games
Yeah,
because
you
then they
said
have their bye
the
week,
bye
and I
week.
thought it would just explode, detonate in the bye week, especially if they go 0-5 to start. And again, Denver is still now they're really favored to win at Oakland in Game 1 on Sunday. So I certainly wasn't shocked by the news of yesterday right after our show ended. And I said for the day that he signed there, I just said this will not last because I told you, I've been around John Gruden a lot. I covered his previous team in Oakland for a year, and this is exactly the kind of player he does not want to coach. This is the same situation, the Keyshawn situation in Tampa, where he just sent him home.
Right.
So he desperately needs Antonio, but he does not want to coach this Antonio.
No.
So here's the shocker of shocks to me that I read from Mike Florio, that this is the technicality, that the $1 million he was going to get as an upfront signing bonus was tied to 2 $500,000 workout bonuses for 2019, this year, and next year, 2020. He failed to qualify for the first one. So the 500, which is half the signing bonus, all you had to do is show up for 85% of the offseason work.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure show up means just come through the door, right?
Skip, all you
just
do,
show.
basically 4 days a week. You come Monday through Thursday.
You could go sit on a weight machine. You could just sit in the chair and just watch everybody else lift, and you'd qualify, I think. So he left $500,000 on the table because he's just too cool for school, man. I'm above that.
Even I would have showed up. They tried to get me to come to off-season work conditions.
Yeah, but if they said you got $500,000,
I'd have been there.
I would think.
But I wasn't showing up for $25,000 because that's what they offered me, G. And I said, nah, I'm not going to be able to do that.
So here's the takeaway point. They have paid Antonio Brown zero. So he signed $30 million for 3 years, whatever it is. Is that what it is? 30 for 3? But he's gotten zero.
Right.
So they could cut bait right now at no charge, no cost, no salary cap hit, no, we got to pay you in perpetuity after they are scot-free here if they want to be.
Right.
So now we're back to John Gruden. The only mixed emotions I heard expressed yesterday came from the head coach.
Yes.
And why is that? Because, as we saw in Hard Knocks, he loves he's legendary, Antonio is, for his practice energy. Right? When he decides to show up for practice and when he's healthy enough, when he doesn't have frostbitten feet and he can practice, well, then he practices hard because he loves it. He shows out in practice. So Gruden's point is, remember what he yelled in the middle of Hard Knocks? 84 is going to lead this league in energy. Well, that's what he loves. That's what he gravitates to. And so he's expressing the mixed emotions about, he says, I think Antonio is a great receiver, and deep down, I think he's a really good guy. Yeah, you've been around him. He has a good side to him. He also has a side that has gone completely over the edge into I am the world. I'm bigger and better than the Raiders.
He came on the show. You remember we was in Houston, and he came on the show.
At the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. He very soft-spoken, Jim. He left. I said, Skip, that dude full of it.
Okay.
You can't fool me. Skip.
Yeah.
This,
I've been around him several times. He's got a huge smile,
Yeah.
great charisma when he wants to turn on.
very
the charm.
soft-spoken,
He
got a
is.
soft voice. Skip on IG Live. This is what he said. Just know my actions will speak louder than my words. Okay, his actions in Pittsburgh? Skip, the reason why, and I tell people this all the time, I can sign 1,000 autographs. It's the one autograph that I don't sign that I'm a jerk.
Yep.
Skip, this is the first time that he's been held accountable for his actions,
Yeah.
and this is how he responds.
Okay.
Because Pittsburgh let it skate. You think this is the first time that he missed a walkthrough? You think this is the first time that he's missed a practice?
Nope.
Because his talent was production and tolerance.
Yep.
6 straight 100-catch season will allow you to get away with a lot, Skip.
Okay.
But even that was a bridge too far, the way he behaved the last year in Pittsburgh.
Okay. So reportedly, the soft-spoken Antonio Brown yesterday screamed at Mike Mayock
Right.
at practice after he had posted, obviously the day before, the confidential letter about fines that Mayock had sent him that was not for social media
Public.
purposes, right?
Yes.
And you can bet that Gruden and Mayock were furious over that
Yeah.
to the point they got in some kind of a shouting match, Mayock and Antonio at practice. Then he picks up a nearby football and punts it and says, "Find me for that." Then he was also reportedly barking at one of the strength and conditioning coaches. He was just going out of control. And then here's the bottom line to this. He goes home and he unfollows his quarterback that he was supposed to be new best friends with, right? Derek Carr.
Right.
Why do you think he did that? This is my hunch on this. I believe Derek Carr, when that incident erupted on the practice field, I think he intervened on behalf of Mike Mayock.
Right.
And told Antonio, "You're out of line." I just think as
Yeah.
a team leader, I think he said, "You're out of line." And that burned that bridge. So he goes home and unfollows him. And it's like a silly little thing, but it's significant.
But see, that's what social media. See, that's what people, when you have a relationship, Skip,
Yep.
and it's public,
No, I
and you
got it.
break up, what you do?
Okay.
You unfollow each
Sure
other.
you do.
Because remember,
Absolutely.
he showed up at the doorstep at his house. I've been to his house. Ben Roethlisberger never had me over to his house. So now they all love. That's his new boo thing.
Okay.
Now the boo thing side with the other guy. I'm gonna unfollow you. Man, dude, you a grown man with kids, and you gonna unfollow.
Okay, and then David Carr, who happens to be the brother of Derek Carr, said that the Oakland leader, the Raiders leaders, all went to Gruden after practice and said, "We're with you on whatever you need to do here," meaning if you want to cut bait, we are behind you
Right.
cutting bait. So I think that would indicate to me that the team is turning on Antonio. Is that fair to guess?
Yes.
Right?
Skip, it started when Juju, I mean, he's been this, but what pushed AB to this point where we are now, Skip, his teammates voted Juju team MVP.
Significant.
It was reported that AB went to practice, and when they threw him a balls, he would swat them down.
Okay.
They said, well, you know what? Go home. Drew Rosenhaus said, we can make this thing better, make it better. It was reported Mike Tomlin said, nah, we good. We good.
Okay.
That was, and here we are, Skip. If you won't behave, when you got $30 million guaranteed coming,
Yep.
you think this guy's gonna behave, Skip? He's never getting the 30 million. Skip, he's not getting 30 million again. They're not gonna give him that.
No. Nope.
So if he
I agree.
won't, so even if you suspend him, Skip, and you void the contract and you pay him on a game-by-game basis, because as long as he's not on the opening day roster, it voids, and you pay him on a game-by-game basis.
Okay.
He has more incentive to act up. Skip, okay, 15 million times 16, so he's gonna make roughly before taxes about $800,000, $900,000 a game.
Crazy.
And he, about $900,000 a game. So he won't behave. He's gonna make $900,000, but you expect him to behave when he's gonna make $100,000, $200,000.
Okay, so now back to what other team, if any, would now want Antonio if in fact he hits the open market?
New England take him.
And I got another vintage AB moment that I missed, but this happened back in March. Would you believe that Antonio taped a private conversation with his agent Drew Rosenhaus and then aired it on his podcast, his Boomin' podcast?
Yeah.
And I bring it up only because Drew was talking about which teams were interested in March in Antonio. So he's airing a private taped conversation with his agent. Did his agent sign off on it? I don't know.
No.
Maybe he did. I doubt it. But the quote was, and this was a phone conversation from Drew to AB, The teams that want you right now are New England, Philadelphia, Tennessee, Washington, and Buffalo, with Oakland still in the picture. Well, obviously, Oakland rose to the top of that picture, mainly because I think they were offering the most money.
Correct.
And he also went on to say, Drew did, we want to get you with the quarterback that you can win with.
Right.
Well, did he think he could win with Derek? I think he did with Derek Carr.
I think he went with the most money.
I think it might have been money over quarterback, but he still thought he had a chance with Derek Carr.
Now, I believe, see, the thing is, Skip, is that people like, I'm a firm believer in giving someone, within reason, a second chance. I mean, there are some things that I just can't forgive, and you're not going to get a second chance. Now, I say, I believe in second chances. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm going to give him one. I believe in second chances.
Yep.
But if I own a team, I'm not giving him one. Now, I believe, Skip, he'll probably go to New England, and he'll be on his best behavior. Because you know why? That's what's expected. See, for the longest time, what is the Raiders, Skip? They were renegades. Al Davis didn't care. They'd be out partying. Al Davis said, guess what? As long as you go out there and win, we good. But this right here, he gonna punch the man in the mouth. It's like, AB reminds me of the Skip. I know this happened to you. You've been at the stoplight. The light turns green and the person is doing something. You blow the horn, they flip you off. Skip, you in the wrong, bro. Why? I'm just saying go so we don't get caught behind the light again.
Yep,
AB in the wrong,
Yep,
Skip.
that's a good example. I would agree.
AB, you are in the wrong.
Yep.
Why are you so upset at Mike Mayock for doing his job, holding you accountable? This is the first time, Skip, he's been held accountable, and he's lashing out. I mean, this is so beyond belief that he would behave in this manner. All you got to do is just go out there and be Antonio Brown on the field, and you're going to get $15 million this year, a little less, about 14.5 next year. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
And he can't even do that. He can't even make it to the field, Skip.
Correct. So to your point, Bill Belichick, obviously, over the last 15, maybe 20 years, has turned into Al Davis East,
Yes.
right? Because he's taken chances on
Corey Dillon,
baggage after baggage.
Randy.
Okay. But even just at receiver, he went Randy Moss, Chad Ochocinco at the time, Chad Johnson,
Right.
Josh Gordon, right?
Right.
I could be wrong about this, but I have my doubts they would take the risk on AB right now with Josh already in fold.
Right.
And they love Josh. And Josh obviously has drug issues, but he doesn't have any other issues.
Right.
He's still a good teammate, and he's a good soldier, and he comes to work on time, by all accounts. Brady loves him.
Yes.
But would it be because Antonio's on his last hurrah here, like he would realize this is it, or I might just be out of the league? Would he be on his best behavior? I don't know.
Hell, Skip, I thought he would be on his best behavior with this situation.
So did I.
You leave a model franchise in the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is a player's coach, Skip, and he didn't find him because, like I said, the talent outweighed the penalty for anything that he might have done. And you would have thought AB came from Liberty City or one of the inner projects in Miami. You worked your ass to get out.
He did.
And then you behave in this manner when they give you some money.
Yep.
All money did, Skip, is just show who it removes a hedge.
Yep.
It'll show everybody who you actually are. Money doesn't change people. Money has never changed people. It might change your area code. It might change your zip code, your bank account, but the person that you actually are, you become a bigger or more emboldened that. This is who Antonio Brown is. And anybody that thinks he's anything else is fooling themselves. And that was the mistake that the Raiders made. The Raiders thought he was something else. Skip, I told you, it's easy to say, oh, I love that Antonio. I would love to coach. It's easy to say that I love his work ethic until you got to coach it. You see everybody, oh, I would love to have that guy on my team. And then you get behind, you're like, what was I talking about? That's him.
I will not be surprised if the Eagles jump right back in the middle of this, because Howie Roseman is into collecting talent, and he is a top talent, obviously. He's an all-time talent, but I would not wish this and Deshaun Jackson on Carson Wentz. I just wouldn't. That would be hard. Unless you want to part ways with Deshaun, and I don't think they want.
No, I want no part of that. I reserve the right to change my pick. If they take him, I'm changing my pick. I'm letting you know now.
Putting him on notice.
That's interesting.
Any of the teams that I might possibly pick,
So
if they take
you'll
him.
switch from Philly to Dallas in the NFC, right?
Well, maybe Dallas will get it. Maybe the Cowboys will get it. Oh, yeah.
Nope, we don't
Yeah. Oh,
we don't have any money.
Oh, you got money.
have to play for free.
You say Jerry can figure this thing out. He's a master negotiator. He just made $62 million on Tuesday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, excuse me. He made $62 million, and we about to talk about another. He made probably another $5 million with a T-shirt.
Well, I tell you what, it makes you rethink some of the criticism that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers got when AB parted ways.
Somewhere they are all chuckling over this.
A little bit, yes. All right.
No mercy.
Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future, or visit www.pacificlife.com.
No mercy.
From one soap opera to one that may be winding down, the Cowboys, Zeke Elliott, Jerry Jones, all smiles after Zeke ended his holdout Wednesday morning. Jerry, as Shannon alluded to, presented Zeke with a special T-shirt, shall we call it, during yesterday's press conference. The shirt had Jerry's now infamous quote, "Zeke who" on the front, and it said, "That's who" on the back.
Yeah.
With an image of Zeke leaping over a defender. According to our friends at Fox Bet, the Cowboys are 7.5-point favorites versus the Giants at home. Shannon, Cabo workouts. What do you expect from Zeke on
You
Sunday?
want one of those T-shirts?
No.
I think I can get you
I want
one.
that 7.5. You willing to do that?
No.
You
I don't
would.
want to jinx them. It's just the opening game. It's not that big a deal. I'll give you two.
I bet you would give me two. Skip, I do not believe Zeke will have his normal workload. Now, could he have a run of 10 or 15 yards? Sure. But I don't believe we'll see the Zeke that we've seen the first 3 years of his career, because I don't believe he'll get the number of plays that is required of him to be what we expect Zeke to be. And especially now, after week 3, week 4, week 5, we're going to start seeing the Zeke that we expect to see. But I just think because he's missed so much time, and not that football, he can play the game in his sleep. He still has great vision, balance, and everything.
Yep.
But he's not in football shape. And you mess around and let this man get a soft tissue or a muscle injury, Skip, hamstring, quad, groin, calf. Is it really worth it? You should be able to beat the Giants with Zeke playing, let's just say he plays 20 plays, and Tony Pollard and the other taking the rest of the work from there on out.
Alfred Moore.
Yes. I believe you should be able to do that. Not just, who knows what happens if the game is close, especially late in the ball game. I don't really think that's going to happen. But I don't think we'll see the Zeke that I expect to see from week 3 moving forward. So I just don't think he'll have the workload. I don't think he'll get the carries, the touches, in order for him to have his full repertoire. But old Jerry Jones, you see, Skip, you know that how many fans you think gonna buy that T-shirt? And so that T-shirt. Exactly.
I was going to buy you one.
What you think that T-shirt's going for? $15, $20?
Probably, yeah. Is it up there yet on Cowboys.com or NFL.com?
No. NFL. No. Jerry do his own thing. He ain't got no NFL.com. Right. Jerry, you got to go to Cowboys.com if you want to buy that T-shirt.
Okay.
Oh, Jerry all about making them dollars. So he's like, oh, Zeke, I already recouped that $100 million that I gave you, Zeke. I already got that back. Got 62 about my energy stock, and I'm about to get about another, probably about 20 on these T-shirts. So I done got that money back from you.
Maybe. Boy, he looks happy, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Old Ezekiel Elliott looks happy.
Yeah.
I think my team is energized. I think he's electrified because he is back in the fold. There's nuclear pep in the step. And I am not going to be surprised if he gets off hot, which I think he will, if you see maybe even up to 20 carries. And you'll say, that's insane. It's too dangerous. You're tempting fate. And you might be. It depends how the game goes.
Right.
It depends what happens with remember, the offensive line is reconstituted now because Travis Frederick, the anchor, is back at center. The Pro Bowl, did he make All-Pro? I know.
Yeah, he's been All-Pro at least 1 year.
All-Pro. Center is back in the middle. And that line prides itself most on run blocking. So I think they're going to want to make a statement. And if Zeke gets off hot and seems to be running without effort, again, would he maybe just get gassed? It's possible. But I think he worked hard in Cabo. I know we saw video, and video proves nothing. But again, I won't be surprised if he goes 20 carries. It's probably more realistic to say he would split carries with Tony Pollard, who is a legit 1A back. And I think they're very proud of their discovery. So you could be right in that they want to show the world, hey, we do have a 1A here.
Right.
So maybe it would be 12 and 12-ish sort of carries.
Right.
And now we get down to what happened last year. Remember what Landon Collins, who's no longer a Giant, obviously he's a Redskin. Remember what he said before this game a year ago? It was game 2 last year. It wasn't game 1. But remember, he said that we want to do everything in our power to shut down Zeke. It's to your, relentless point on the show.
Right.
Because we want to put the ball in Dak's hands because it gives us a much better shot at winning the game. And what was Dak's response? Challenge accepted. And Dallas did win that game 20-13. Dak played okay. Zeke played okay. But the point is...
Zeke played good.
Yeah, he played okay. But the point is, will they come out with that same mindset again? Will they just say you can't have Zeke or Tony Pollard?
Right.
Will they try to put the ball in the quarterback's hands?
Yes.
The quarterback has a new coordinator, Kellen Moore, and they are tight. They are on the same wavelength. I think Dak Prescott trusts Kellen Moore much more than he trusted or vibed off of Scott Linehan.
Scott Linehan, all he did with Jenny was winning Rookie of the Year, put him in line to get a $160, $170 million contract.
Yep.
So he should send Scott Linehan about $500,000 because that's all he did for him. What did you say his record was? He got the best record next to Tom Brady, win-loss?
What was the Cowboys' record after 8 games last year with no Amari Cooper? Help me out. It was 3-5.
Yeah.
Ezekiel was there, Dak was there, but Amari wasn't there, and they go 3-5, and you were just laughing all the way to the bank.
And who was the OC? Scott Linehan.
Yep.
So he won 2 division titles.
Yep.
Dak wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
And he finished 3rd in the QBR. And now you want to make him seem like he was a bad guy.
Meat and potatoes.
That's it.
You're about to see Dak Prescott unleashed.
That's what I like, meat and potatoes. See, that's what I am.
Yeah.
Everybody do these old fad diets, this keto, this intermittent fasting. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I eat 3-4 times a day, and look at this here.
You do eat 3 or 4 times.
I sure do. And looking good, too. He looking good.
I like the sweater today, by the way. It shows off.
Keep this Batman costume. It ain't Halloween, but I keep this Batman costume on.
Well, all I know for sure is that the new coordinator's going to put, I don't eat cake, but he's about to put a bunch of icing on this cake.
That's all it is, frosted. Ain't no, Skip, that's all you got, a big old, you ain't got no cake.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing but frosted.
Michael Gallup is about to emerge as one of the best dangerous deep threats in the game. He can run by people. If you don't honor him, if you single him, there's going to be some deep balls thrown and caught.
But your
It's going to be a new world.
quarterback don't throw deep.
Yes,
and when
he
he
does.
does, he don't throw with accuracy deep. So he'll be dinking and dacking. Jason Witten probably had like 10 catches.
Just the stats do not validate what you just said.
Validate it.
They invalidate it because over the last 10 games last year, my quarterback was 3rd in the NFL in distance of pass thrown, in air distance, how far the passes traveled. He was 3rd in the NFL. He was 1st in the NFL in throwing catchable passes, says Pro Football Focus over the last 10 games.
Yeah, you do that.
With Amari Cooper, who was probably getting doubled 3/4 of the
You
time.
were throwing the Cole Beasley and throwing check downs and jailbreak screens. That'll give you a lot of catchable balls.
So it's just possible that the star of the game emerging on Sunday will not be Zeke or it won't be Tony Pollard. By the way, Tony can catch too. So can Zeke.
Who is it going to be? Michael Gallup, huh?
It's going to be the quarterback because it might just be bombs away. And you say, well, Jackrabbit puts handcuffs
Oh, Jackrabbit!
on Amari. Well, if he does, then there's that guy over there, Michael Gallup. And guess who's in the slot? Little number 18, who used to be Aaron. You know, if Aaron had number 18 last night, maybe they would have scored 20 points. I don't know, 24 points, right?
Well,
Randall Cobb is a Dallas Cowboy now. You like that?
Yeah, I mean, if he's happy, I'm happy, Skip Bayless. But the thing is, Jack Rabbit normally struggles with guys that has fast twitch, that start-stop, good in small areas. He does good with big receivers that he can get into them. That
he does good with Des Bryant.
There you go.
Who did not know how to run a route to save his life. All he needed was a jump ball from Tony Romo, and Dak doesn't throw jump balls. He throws accurate darts
no, he
on
doesn't.
time.
Stop it. Stop it.
Time.
He ain't throwing no accurate darts. Stop it.
Amari Cooper is one of the best 1A number one receiver route runners in all of pro football.
No question about it, Skip
So
Bayless.
let's see if Jack Rabbit can stop precise routes.
Get him, Jack Rabbit. You know, Jack Rabbit, keep them handcuffs on him, Skip.
You know what? I think I'll give you 5 points right now for one case.
7.5.
5 points.
7.5.
7.5? You said 2 to start with. Did I not just do a complete compromise? I went halfway.
You more than
said
doubled.
I need a couple of points, and now you're saying I need 7.5, so I will split the difference. I'll go to 5.
7.5.
Huh?
You know how everybody else come out there to the NFL, you see them all have them towels? Jack Rabbit come out there with a pair of handcuffs.
Really?
Take it!
Okay.
Lock him up!
All right. So what, you want to do a case on how many catches that Amari has in this game?
Nope. Jack Rabbit
Okay.
told him he had to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against him.
I'll say he has more than 3 catches, Amari Cooper.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
The
you
dude
say he's
want-
going to put the handcuffs
The
on.
dude want 20 mil. And you talking about he gonna have more than 3 catches.
Okay.
He have at least 3 catches. Really, Skip? 10. Go 10.
6 points. I'll give you
10.
6 points.
7.5.
Okay. Going once,
Nope.
twice?
Gone.
Nope.
Because I've been talking to some people, they're like, Shannon, when you throw out a bet, whatever the number you say, we'll stick with it. Because Skip be swindling you down, and then you go with it.
Oh,
son.
so you've been getting...
Yep.
Wait, you've been getting gambling counseling.
I have.
Really?
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
interesting. But somebody threw out a couple of points, and I said, done. So how was that a swindle?
Skip, a couple of points is just a figure of speech.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant 2.
Skip, it was a figure of speech that I threw out there. Now, 7.5 is what I'm willing to do.
6 going once, twice?
7.5.
Okay, I'll do 6.
Well, we'll talk about, we still got, we got 2 hours still.
Yep.
I mean, you'll come around.
Okay. Zeke has come all the way around.
No, he ain't.
Good to go.
No.
Speaking in numbers, apparently this Ziku is not copyrighted. So there are multiple websites
Oh,
that you
everybody's
can buy your
offering
t-shirt
Ziku.
from, and you can even get a sweatshirt for all the way up to like $40. So you can get a summer version and a winter
I don't
version.
need a sweatshirt.
Because you know it's the Cowboys, look at that star in the collar. That's how you know it's the Cowboys.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Everyone is a Super Bowl contender going into week 1, right? All right. Well, maybe not everyone. But we're going to get Skip and Shannon's Super
Here we
Bowl
go.
predictions when Undisputed returns.
No mercy.
The NFL season is now officially underway. According to Fox Bet, the reigning champion New England Patriots are currently the odds-on favorites to repeat at 7-1. Chiefs and Saints right behind them to round out the top 3. Skip's Cowboys, well, they sit back as a dark horse right now with the 11th best odds, 22-1. Shannon, got to go on the record. Your Super Bowl prediction.
Well, only dark horse I know is Katy Perry's song. I guess you were talking about them old nasty Cowboys, Skip Bayless.
I wouldn't know anything about Katy Perry.
I know you wouldn't know anything about Katy Perry, but I know about Katy Perry.
And you're admitting that publicly.
It's okay, Katy Perry. I like Katy Perry. Katy Perry nice. You a hater, Skip. Look, I thought about a lot of different teams because I think some teams are going to be really good, and I know you're going to take some chalk.
You have
probably.
no idea what I'm taking.
But I know who I like, and I know who's going to win it. And when we're in Miami,
Yeah.
I'll be looking like a genius. They're going to call me to work for them at Caesars.
Well, this would be a first.
That's what I'm hearing. I believe the team that's going to win the Super Bowl has the best, the quarterback's going to have the best season this year. And that's my homeboy. I like what they have offensively. They got 2 guys, Hartman and Tyreek Hill, that can take the top off the coverage. They have 2 guys that can work intermediate and they can finish in the end zone, and that's Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce. They have a very solid offensive line, come back intact. The running game with Damon Williams and now Shady McCoy.
Yep.
Their offense is second to none. Defensively, I believe they'll be a lot better with Frank Clark and Tyron the Honey Badger Matthews.
They will.
Skip, the thing that I like about Tyron is that not only can he play both safety positions, strong and free, he's a slot receiver. And the matchup that's going to be very, very interesting, Skip, will be him and Julian Edelman. For the first time, we got somebody that, because Chris Harris Jr. is a slot receiver. Now, I don't think Matthew is on that level. Slot corner.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on Chris Harris Jr.'s level.
I don't know.
No, Chris Harris, he's the best slot corner. No, he's the best slot corner. Chris Harris Jr.
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger good. That's why I'm picking him. I got the Chiefs will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl for the first time since they won the Super Bowl. And in the NFC, Skip, I think the Saints will be very good this year because they want to get back and right the wrong that betrayed their chances to get to the Super Bowl. I think the Packers are going to be good. Aaron Rodgers will get better. He will not have another performance like he had last night unless he plays the Bears again, but there'll be so much distance between them and there, but they'll still win that ball game. I think their defense is going to be special. I think the Rams will be good again, but nobody's loaded like the Eagles. They're loaded. I like D-Jack. I like Alshon, Goddard, Ertz. They went to the draft and got Arcega-Whiteside. They got Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard.
Loaded.
Loaded, Skip.
Absolutely.
Offensive, defensive line, front to back. And that's how you build a team. You build a line.
Everywhere.
Loaded.
Yep.
D-line, loaded. They get Darby back. We know what they in the middle with Jink. It's going to be these two guys. This is going to be the representatives.
Best offensive line in football, says Pro Football Focus, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles, Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And
remember, they don't have Nick Foles.
Skip, I love walking to him.
Yeah.
But I think my homeboy gonna bring it home this year.
Oh, so you're putting your pride on the line.
I think my homeboy gonna bring it.
Somebody just bet with his pride.
I think my homeboy gonna bring it home.
It's called your heart over your head.
I'm going Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Over walk it to him and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the Chiefs in that you are so right about how much better they're going to be on defense. And I must admit, I saved all these because when these schedules came out, we talked about them on the air, and I dug in. I put this in concrete when the schedules came out, way back when. And I went all the way down and I picked the losses on each of these 4 schedules, and I kept them. And the one that horrifies me the most is the Chiefs because I had them going 12-4. I had the Patriots going 13-3, so I had the AFC Championship game in Foxborough. And I thought that the turning point of the year for the Patriots would be getting the Chiefs late in the year up in Foxborough to beat them, to edge them out for home field throughout the playoffs. So now I look at the Kansas City schedule today.
It's tough.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm the other way. I think it got a lot easier.
How?
Okay, I had them losing to the Colts. Well, now that's not going to happen. Okay, no Andrew Luck. I had them losing at the Chargers. Well, if the Chargers don't have Derwin James and Melvin Gordon, and I don't know what's going to happen to Melvin Gordon, but it seems rocky to me. It seems like it's not going to happen. So all of a sudden, I'm not so sure that the Chargers can beat the Chiefs. Again, Chiefs won there last year, but I thought they'd get revenge. And then I do have them losing at the Patriots, but I also had them losing on December 22nd in a night game at the Bears. And after last night, I'm looking at Mitchell Trubisky, and I'm thinking, I just don't know if Mitchell Trubisky can figure out any way to score enough points to beat Patrick Mahomes. Can the Bears defense cause him big problems? Yes. Okay, so now I'm coming down to my AFC final pick. I'm sticking with the Patriots. But I'm also flipping my script to say I think they might just have to go back to Kansas City and do this again. Because I'm not sure that they're going to lose 4 games. But I am sure this. Patrick Mahomes will not be as good as he was last year. He cannot eclipse the 50 touchdowns.
No.
Okay, he's going to have sophomore struggles, and I know he's in his 3rd year, but this is his sophomore year of starting. And I think the league will start to figure him out. And I think he's gone a little over the edge into almost caricature, practicing left-handed passes, practicing, no-look passes. He'll probably try one between the legs, behind the back.
I practice debating at home.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
And where does that get you?
To get dubs on. Get me dubs Monday through Friday.
Oh, no,
Dubs.
in the commercial we did last fall, which is still airing, you're actually debating my, what is it, like a dummy of me?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A
mannequin. I shouldn't call it a dummy because no one's ever.
That's what they call it. I mean, you got to be, politically correct. You don't want to insult a dummy, even though it's a dummy. So we'll call it a mannequin, Skip.
Okay. So I still say the Patriots will prevail. And I still say Tom Brady is going to be even better than he was last year as he has turned.
I hope you better hope so, because he wasn't that good last year.
He was tremendous last year. Did you see him against the Chargers when you picked the Chargers to win that?
I saw him against the Titans too.
Yeah. Okay.
Also saw him against the Lions.
Did you see him in position to wrap up home field advantage throughout the playoffs and not have to go to Kansas City when they played late in the year at Miami? Did you see what Belichick gave up at the end of that game?
Yeah, I see Tom Brady got sacked and took points off the board right before the end of the half.
I saw him put up his best numbers and best QBR of the whole regular season in that game.
I didn't see that.
It's tremendous. What did he throw? 353 and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions?
I saw what he did against the Rams. He won the game, but I saw him score 13 points. Really? You think you're going to beat the Chiefs scoring 13?
Did you see him in overtime at Kansas City convert 3 straight 30?
My homeboy didn't get the ball.
He's going to be even better, Shannon, and he's going to make you eat so much crow over there.
See, Skip, the thing is, Mahomes, will he throw for 50 touchdowns? Probably not, considering it's only been done 2 other times in NFL history. Will he throw for 5,000 yards? Probably not. But can I see a scenario where he's between 38 and 43, 44 touchdowns? Yes. Is there a scenario where he can be between 4,500 and 4,800 yards? Absolutely. But he's going to have, Skip, these weapons are not going anywhere. To have this kind of speed on the outside, Sammy Watkins is your slot receiver. That's your slot receiver is Sammy Watkins. And then you got Travis Kelce.
Well, that Mecole Hardman is just a bullet.
Yeah. So think about that. And he can't outrun Reek. He had nobody. Skip, you remember?
I'll bet he's in the ballpark.
You remember when Tyreek caught that jump ball against the Patriots in New England, hit him with this here? So deuced him out.
He deuced
More of that.
Yep.
More of that to come.
Loaded, but it all comes down to what is the quarterback made of, and I think we'll start finding out maybe not what Tom Brady is made of, because your young quarterback, is he that mentally tough?
Yes.
Does he have killer instinct?
Killer.
Was he a killer at Texas Tech? Because I watched I never saw
Was
that.
Baker a killer at Texas Tech? No.
No. Was he at Oklahoma?
Okay,
yeah.
then. So let me ask you a question.
Did Cliff Kingsbury make a mistake? Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. If my homeboy had gone to Oklahoma, he's been a Heisman Trophy winner.
I don't know about that.
Because you remember what he did? Skip, he threw against Oklahoma, he threw for over 730 yards. He had
I watched
800 yards
every
total.
snap of it. Yeah. Baker outgunned him in that game.
No. Baker had a better team. Baker threw for over 500.
He didn't have a better defense. I think Tech had a better defense. Seriously.
Not when you lose, Skip.
Yeah.
Your quarterback has 800 total yards. Your defense is terrible.
Well, I'm just asking you to remember that I brought this up.
What?
Does Patrick Mahomes have that assassin
He
mentality?
got that dog in him.
Does he have that clutch backbone in him? I don't know.
I
Remember,
know.
I brought this up. Remember.
Okay.
Because he's going to face Tom Brady probably twice this year, and we'll see who prevails, who is mentally tougher. Okay.
Who your NFC team?
Okay, so I've got the Patriots as usual, and it's because the guy is just the greatest who ever played, and he will continue to prove that. But in the NFC, let's start with your pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the most loaded team by far in the NFC. If we just do on paper, they are going to win the Super Bowl. You're going to be right, because they are loaded at every position except quarterback.
Stop it.
They will go as far as the quarterback takes them. I'm going to say it one more time. He has more pressure on him, I feel sorry for him, than any other quarterback in the league, because he got $108 million guaranteed. For a long time, he had set the bar the highest in the whole league until, obviously, Jared Goff came along.
What is your quarterback
My guy's
gonna
going to come along pretty soon.
And how much pressure going to be on him when he gets 112?
No, different. He doesn't have the team this guy has.
Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, yeah, he has an
Most
American
people-
team.
Most people think they're like.
Oh, no.
15th
We'll tell Jerry Jones that
Mm-hmm.
as he shelled out a $400 million in contracts, that he doesn't have the team that Walk It To Him has. And see what Jerry says.
Jerry watched his quarterback beat this quarterback twice last year.
And say he should beat him again. Because I just gave you 160. Because it's going to take about 165 billion.
So I got the Eagles losing 5 games. I got them losing at Falcons. I got them losing at Packers. I got them losing at Vikings. I definitely got them losing at Cowboys. I got them losing to the Patriots at home, and I'm going to give you this. The only hope that you have is that their closing schedule is very easy. They're going to get on a late roll and win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got them winning their last 6 games. So they will springboard in as the wild card team because obviously Dak's team will win the division for the 3rd time in 4 years.
They're not.
And here we'll go, and we'll see how they fare as a road wild card team because I think they're going to be on the road. And Carson Wentz will be playing in his first ever playoff game. And he will be trying to fill the biggest shoes in the history of Eagles football. Nick Foles, the magic man, beloved in the locker room. And Carson Wentz says he's a new man. He is reborn, so to speak, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
An awakening.
Okay, it's an awakening. Off season, his eyes were opened by the PhillyVoice.com story, right?
Your team.
Questioning his leadership.
Skip, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news. Actually, I don't really like giving news, especially if it's going to be bad. Your team's not making the playoffs.
So how much have you bet on that? I think 5 cases?
Yes.
Yes. So I want that on the record right
Yeah.
now, just to reiterate it,
Yeah.
so that you don't try to weasel out of
I
that
don't-
one
what
like you
would weasel?
try to weasel out of some. 5 cases that Dallas does not make the playoffs.
I'm thinking about week 10, you'll be wanting to buy out for 3 cases early.
I don't need to buy it. I'm 42 cases ahead. Why would I want to buy out of 5? Right?
Because
So
you
not
wanna
only
win.
will Dallas win the division again, Dallas is going to win the NFC Championship
No, they're
and
not.
play the Patriots in the Super Bowl and lose to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Dallas has a hard schedule, but they get off to an easy start. So their schedule is front-loaded while Philly's is back-loaded on easy games. So the first 3 are, or any division game, simple or easy. No, they're not. But you got Giants and then at Redskins.
Yeah, Eli and Case Keenum.
Okay. But at Redskins, it'll be a battle. Trust me, it'll go to the wire. And then Dolphins should be able to win that one before it starts. So right now, Vegas says that the Dallas Cowboys have this, they're tied for 6th in odds to win the NFC. Okay, so tied for 6th. And the 6 teams, one tied with them and 5 above them, they have to play all 6 of those teams on this schedule because all of a sudden it starts and they go to the Saints, then they got the Packers, then they got the Eagles, then they got the Vikings, then they have to go to the Patriots, they go to the Bears in a night game December 5th. You know how cold that'll be. They get the Rams at home, and then obviously they play the Eagles twice. But the point is, they got a murderer's row. They got all the teams above them in the conference in odds.
You know what that means,
They
right?
have to play them. And I still say they're going to go 12-4. And I'm going to say this again. I covered the 1992 Cowboys, and they arrived 1 year before most people thought they would, before I thought they would. But that 92, 93, those Cowboy teams remind me of this one. And I'm not saying this team has that much Hall of Fame talent on it, but this team is coming of age right on schedule. This team is about to arrive with a big bang. And it's going to explode right on you because everybody's going to get paid. Everybody's going to be happy. This team is going to have momentum on contracts that will just ignite the locker room and springboard them into a 12-4 season.
You know what's going to hold you guys back? Your quarterback. Our quarterback will be healthy. We're dominant in the trenches. Teams like the Bill front to back.
I'm going to knock
front
on wood for
O-line,
you. You just said
front
your quarterback
D-line.
will be healthy. See, he did make it 16 games the first year, then
No.
13, then 11, and that means history would say 9?
No.
Maybe.
And he got, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how he keep missing all these games, and he got more career touchdown passes than Dak, who has yet to miss a game. How did that work, Skip?
Dak took off the last 10 games. Dak has had Amari Cooper for a whole offseason just to continue to improve that vibe, that wavelength, that deep soul connection that those two have. Travis Frederick is back. Randall Cobb is now in the slot. The defense had dominating performances against Drew Brees and Seattle's #1 rushing attack, holding it to 73 in a playoff game. They won a playoff game last year. They're going to win 2. I think they'll only need 2.
Hey, Skip, I mean, you talking about Travis Frederick, but Jason Kelsey is not a slouch.
Okay, they're not.
Elaine Johnson.
It's a good
And
thing
big
I'm
Jason
here
Peters.
today because you're both wrong. It's going to be the Patriots versus the Saints in the game that should have been.
Well, at least I'm only half wrong.
Only half
He's all wrong, right?
I'll take that.
No.
I'll take that.
Eagles.
All right, the Packers opened with a win last night, but wasn't one to be proud of. Greg Jennings joins us next.
No mercy.
Last night, the NFL season officially kicked off with a defensive slugfest between the Packers and the Bears. Aaron Rodgers and new head coach Matt LaFleur's offense struggled against Chicago's defense. Rodgers sacked 5 times. He only passed for 203 yards and 1 touchdown. But on the other side of the ball, Mitchell Trubisky, not any prettier. 26 for 45 for 228 yards and a pick. The Packers did pull out the 10-3 win, though, when all was said and done. We are now joined by former Packer and NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
How impressive would you say your Packers were or were not last night?
They were not.
Ooh.
They were
gotta
not
be not.
impressive. I said yesterday I was anticipating and expecting fireworks.
You did use that word.
It rains.
Skip, I got a flat dud. Like, if anything, I got 1 firecracker.
Yeah.
I got 1 firecracker. That was it. That's all I could show for. That's all
I'm
I
going to
could.
interrupt real quick to say I was thinking of that word last night. I was watching the game, and I remember when we were little kids, this is probably way before your time, we had these little tiny firecrackers called lady fingers, and you lit the tiny little fuse, and it just went pop.
Like, that's all
And
we
it was
got.
like, I'm watching lady fingers tonight, right?
It's like I kept sitting. I'm still waiting for more, specifically offensively. Now, defensively, I'm not gonna be over the top. They played great defensively, but they played Mitchell Trubisky led Bears team, and I don't trust him. Now, the Chicago Bears, their defense is stout.
They for real.
But this was not what I was anticipating or expecting from an Aaron Rodgers-led offense with a Matt LaFleur new scheme, especially knowing what he gave me last opening season on one leg. Skip.
Yep.
Like, and then you follow it up with this. Like, Shannon, I know you're high on, it's the first game and he's going to improve and they will improve. I'm sure they will. But how much more? Because they got a long way to go if this is what they put out last night as a season opener. And you got the Vikings on the schedule next week, another top 5 defense. You got the Denver Broncos, you got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys. All these defenses that you're going to have to face, it doesn't get any easier. And so what is most disappointing, I didn't see offensively what they could hang their hat on. Like in the passing game, what did we see that was exciting or that was promising? In the running game, did we see anything that was promising? We did not.
No.
So it's like all we're saying and all we're in hopes for is that Aaron Rodgers saves us again. And I just don't see that happening. I was very disappointed in what I saw offensively last night. Is there a lot of season left? Yes. But if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan and if I'm being real with myself and I was watching that game, they were disappointed as well because the expectations were a lot higher and a lot greater than what we saw last night.
I'm proud of you for saying everything you just said.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I think Green Bay should be encouraged for the simple fact they were able to win a ball game 10-3.
That's about all I will give you.
That's it. That's it.
And I'm not, like I said, I believe Green Bay's defense is vastly improved. I think the free agent acquisitions of Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, and Amos, I think they're really, really good, and they paid dividends immediately. But that was against Mitchell Trubisky. And if you didn't know he was a third-year player, you would have thought this was his first NFL start.
Yes.
I agree.
He's bad. He stared down everything that he threw. I didn't think Matt Nagy put him in situations where he could be successful. 3rd and 1, Skip, you got to get 3rd and 1. It was the last one was 3rd and a half a yard, and you try to slide the tight end,
right?
Drag the tight end.
You're doing too much.
Yeah, bro, just line up and just hand the ball off and get the 1 yard. The Bears defense, they're for real. They're disappointed. because there's like, they just gave up the one play, the big play to Scantling. That was really the only play they get because Green Bay didn't really move the ball with any consistency. And then they're thinking, if we give up 10 points, we got to win this game.
Right.
We got to win the game. If you give up 10 points, Skip, you thinking as a defensive player, oh, we winning. We going to get, 10 points. But you can't always see, the thing is that you can't always count on your defense to get a scoop and score, to get a pick six. At some point, you got to score some points on your own offense. And, and that's what happened with us in 2000 with the Ravens. Yeah, as long as we had to eventually find a way to get a touchdown or two.
Yes.
Because if we didn't, the defense every week not getting scooping scores and pick sixes. They're encouraged. Aaron Rodgers can play better than what he played. This notion about, we don't need preseason, yes, you do. Because your first pass, you hit the guy in the foot and almost got a pick six. And you had two plays that I know you can make in your sleep. That second down play, Skip, that could have killed the game.
Yep.
He threw the ball behind Scantling.
Yes.
He had Devontae Adams early on the third
Yes,
time. He
on
threw
the
it
out.
Yes. So he was not sharp, to say the least.
Not
He
sharp.
better than that, and he will be.
And yet, Aaron Rodgers, after the game on NBC, down on the field to Michelle Tafoya, says, "We got a defense." And I'm saying, no, they got Trubisky, right? Because that's what it boiled down to. I know he had his moments last year, but that was all-time awful. I'm not sure I've seen much worse quarterback play on a solo stage opening night kind of game than what I saw last night, because it started bad and it just got worse. And I said to you earlier, he threw 8 or 10 passes that missed by 8 or 10 yards. Where you just said, what? Who's he throwing to?
It was bad.
Yeah. So, Aaron Rodgers' night. It was a 2-pass night. And I was not highly impressed with either of those passes. Because remember, the first one is the bomb to Valdez-Scantling, who is 6 feet 4 inches tall. And Aaron threw it like he throws a Hail Mary, because it was off fake reverse action. And then he just flings it, and it looked for a second like it slipped out of his hands, like it looked duckish to me, because it was just fluttering. And it's like passing a prayer, and the prayer got answered because it happened to come down. Oh, right here, I can catch this. And then we go to the touchdown pass, and when it left his hand to the right corner of the end zone, I flashed on, that's going to be picked.
Yeah.
Right? Because I saw a bunch of Bear jerseys over there, right?
Skip, I have never seen him do that. Now, maybe he and Jimmy Graham have had this conversation of just throw it up. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers be willing to just throw a ball errant like that
I thought he threw it to Allison.
To Allison in the back of the corner.
I did too.
Wow. And yet, he threw it to 6 feet 7 inches, and he went up and snatched it.
Yep.
And no Bear seemed to want to make a play on the ball or could find the ball. And it's a 2-throw game, because that was basically all you needed, right?
Yep.
7. End of story.
And they realized early on, Skip, if we don't turn the ball over, this dude can't move the ball tonight against us. He's not going anywhere. If we don't give them a scoop and score, if we don't put them on a short field, they don't get a pick six, they're not driving 70 yards to get a touchdown. They're not driving 80 yards. And the best chance they had, he threw up a prayer that went unanswered unless he was praying to Amos.
That is correct. That was an ugly prayer, because he is completely blanket double covered in the corner of the end zone. You got no chance. And at that point, the kid was so desperate. But remember, he's throwing for a tie. He's throwing it up to get to overtime.
Right.
So that's how the Bears defense, they gave him the opportunity late.
Rest.
You can still throw. There's 2 minutes left in the game.
Right.
If you complete that ball, going to overtime. I don't know what happens, but I doubt the Bears could score in overtime either, even if they won the kickoff or the coin flip. So the point is that Aaron Rodgers goes 2 of 12 on third down. Whew. He has a QBR of 29, scale of 0 to 100, which by his standards is incredibly low. And he completes only 60% of his passes for a grand total of 203 yards. And they won what felt like pretty easily.
That's a Dak game.
And I'm going to be honest, it did it not seem, as we were watching that game, that although the Green Bay Packers were up 7-3, it felt like they were behind in that game. Like they felt like they needed to get something going offensively, and they just couldn't find any type of rhythm or anyone to get anything going. And you can't go into every week like that, when you got that man that you're calling that man, and we've seen what he's capable of doing, but I'm starting to look at, and Skip, you pointed out some passes, even the Hail Mary, it didn't make it to the end zone. I'm like, I mean.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a touchdown.
Yeah, like,
that's supposed to be a touchdown.
Like, what are we doing? Like, is the arm leaving? What? You start picking and poking.
Are you going to take all this?
No.
This man played with it.
But here's the thing, Greg. But you saw he didn't step into that throw. For some reason, I don't know why, and there was no pressure. Now, he did get pressure.
About the Hail Mary,
yeah.
The one to Valdez.
The one to Scantling, the one that looks like a Hail Mary.
He
didn't step into it. And I'm like, there's no one around you. Why are you throwing off your back foot?
Usually you would throw that with authority.
Right,
You know, like
right.
he'd see it and feel it and fire it.
Right.
You know.
Well, when I listened to him, when he talked about the throw, it was almost as if he wanted to make sure that it got completed.
Right.
Which he said, it was I saw no safety, so I just threw it to a place where Valdez Scantling can go get it.
Right.
Meaning, I just wanted to make sure we got a completion because we couldn't get anything going.
Right. And the thing was, they knew this. 7 points on a night. Sometimes you go into games, Greg, and you know it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be, you know what, guys, it's going to probably be a 35-31. And then some games, if we don't, it's going to be a very, very low-scoring game. You could see the way this game was trending early on. It was never, and I'm like, I actually thought this game could get to 20 points. They're not going to score 20 points between the two of them, let alone one scored 20 and the other scored 17, Skip. You know that. And so you start playing. All of a sudden, they look like the Ravens' offense of 2000 Skip. We're going to play for one play, and that should be enough to win the game. And they got two plays, the big play and the touchdown to Jimmy Graham.
By the way, Ernestine and I had a little tiff last night because she jinxed me once again. She does this to me often. I told her, I just got to watch this game because I've picked Chicago, right? And he picked Green Bay. So I said, just leave me alone during the game. But she was nice enough. She fixed my dinner, and she was going to bring it in to me while I'm watching the game. But instead of waiting till halftime, she walked in at the start of the second quarter. She brings me my dinner, and this, as God is my witness, you can ask her. She walks in and she turns around and watches for a second, and it's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line early in the second quarter. And I said, just watch what's about to happen. I said, I'm about to get torched right here. I'm about to get burned. And she said, no, you won't. And he flings that Hail Mary pass. And I said, see? And she said, oh, here we go again. It's my fault. Something that happened on the west side of L.A. affected that game that was in Chicago.
The Bears defense didn't know she walked in. Into the
No, they
God
didn't.
forbid she'd be supportive.
I don't know. But I think we're better today.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
She walked me to the door this morning, so I think that was it.
That's a good
I
sign.
hope she put,
3:55.
I hope she
Very
put
good
footsie on the way out, too.
She might.
That was a shame, Skip. You blame
Greg,
you
you're
blame
gonna
that
get you
on
to
her.
stick
You ought to
around.
be ashamed of yourself.
But she does it every time.
Guys,
She's bringing you something to eat.
Leave me be for 3 hours and I'll be okay.
Did you not want food?
we've got to leave it here,
tonight
guys.
is date
Well, we're going to
night.
get Greg to stick around. Don't go anywhere. The Antonio Brown drama in Oakland has gone off the rails. How will it end? We'll discuss that up next.
No mercy.
The soap opera rolls on in Oakland. Antonio Brown and Raiders GM Mike Mayock reportedly in a heated argument Wednesday afternoon where Brown threatened to punch Mayock in the face and teammates had to physically hold AB back. Reports now say the Raiders planning to suspend the star receiver, which could jeopardize his guaranteed $30 million contract. Brown not at the facility yesterday. He even unfollowed both the Raiders and Derek Carr on Instagram. Greg, he only signed May 10th. Are you surprised it unraveled this quickly?
You know what? I am, and this is just flat out nauseating. Like it is, as someone who has supported and tried to speak on behalf of Antonio Brown, having sat down with him, listened to his side of the story, and then you start to have some type of empathy, if you will. I can't anymore. I'm just, it's too selfish of him to do these things. Now, we talk about taking it because of the level of production that we've always seen and we've always gotten. Well, the Oakland Raiders are looking at it now, specifically Mike Mayock, like, I haven't seen that production here. I haven't even seen them on the football field. So no football act is outweighing this stuff, this off the field issues.
As he always says, production.
Production, yes, but there has been no. I can't even see what you've done in practice to make sure that this kind of outweighs it. It's not happening. And so when I look at that, I'm like, maybe it is time for them to cut bait. And I hate to say it because he's such a great talent, but when you're trying to establish a culture, and you have everyone in that locker room, including Derek Carr, who is your leader, looking at this man, getting away with these type of things, you can't have that. You can't move forward with somebody on your hip and say that we're on the same page. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you never know what they're going to do. The Oakland Raiders don't know when Antonio Brown is going to go left or when he's going to go right. And that is a problem.
When he feels like it.
True.
I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that it's ending with this, how soon this happened, because when he first signed Skip, he ain't making it 2 years. He's not living out this contract because he's who he is. He's the same guy, and when he got money, he became more emboldened. And what he does not realize, or he does not care, is that the owners will use his situation and say, this is why we don't want to give y'all guaranteed money.
Yes,
they won't say anything about Tom Brady. They won't say nothing about J.J. Watt.
Nope.
They won't say nothing about Khalil Mack. They won't say anything about the guy.
He represents the majority now.
And that's what he does not get, Skip. And Drew Rosenhaus, and I understand what Drew's doing. Skip, that's his job. He want to get 3% of $30 million. 3% of $30 million is more than 3% of nothing, because he's about to get nothing.
Pretty good. Yeah.
So with that being said, there's two sides. No, there's not, Drew. The side is this. Antonio Brown did not show up to walkthroughs. Skip, they flew to Winnipeg. And I believe, and I don't know, can't talk to anybody, Skip, but I believe they had walkthrough in the hotel. Probably. Antonio Brown said, nah, I'm good. I ain't going. They had.
And he was probably up on the 5th floor. You know, like you just got to take the elevator down to the ballroom, right?
You got practice.
Yes.
Right?
Skip,
yes.
you got practice. Skip, you got practice. We got practice. Now, he's been dealing with the helmet. They didn't excuse you. That's your issue. You resolve that with the arbitrator in the NFL as you practice.
Didn't every other player have to change helmets?
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 years. They gave everybody a 2-year notice. They let the old guy. Antonio Brown's one of the guys. So was Tom Brady. So was Aaron Rodgers. They told him, this will be your last year in that old helmet. Tom Brady says, I don't like it. Tom Brady said, I went to four Super Bowls in this helmet in the last 5 years. I love my helmet. Aaron Rodgers, I love this helmet. But you know what? To trying to be safe as we possibly can, we're moving away from that. Not him. Even though he had an endorsement deal already lined up, the guy was going to fly out there, do a specialty helmet for him. Custom fit, Skip Bayless. Nobody else got no custom fit helmet. Custom fit for you, Antonio, and we're going to give you an endorsement deal out of it. Nah, y'all want to make it about me. I told you. I told him. Greg, you and I were talking. I said, Greg, I told you. I know. Skip, I played 14 years. And about 11 of those years, I was a big, big leader. And the thing about being in a leadership position, Skip, you have to know. And I saw, even when players didn't think I was watching them. Not just at practice, meetings, in the locker room, when they're eating, and you just watch, you just observe. And so you gotta get a good indication of how someone is. When things are going good, when things are going bad, if he got problems at home, you kind of get a sense, I told you. I know that guy. And when you gave him some money, the worst thing you can do to a person that's a jackleg to begin with, but I really want to say jack A, the worst thing you can do is give him money because you're going to make him a Clydesdale of being a jackass. Skip, he ain't changing. Drew Rosenhaus, this is a lost cause, bro. And I understand, do your job. But if the Raiders are smart, they're going to suspend him and get out from under this avalanche of a contract. Because there's no way I'm going to be embedded with him for $15 million this year. Zero chance that happens.
So I want to point something out to our faithful viewers. Greg Jennings played receiver in the National Football League for a long time at a very high level. Shannon Sharpe is in the Hall of Fame. He played a receiving position, tight end, at an extremely high level. These two men are disgusted with everything they have seen and heard about Antonio Brown's recent behavior and misbehavior.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yes.
You're nauseated by it. You're to the point you're ashamed that he is in your brotherhood. This is so wrong that you both get almost over emotional about how he is acting out on his second chance, a great second chance that he got with the Oakland Raiders. So here's my point. Here's my bottom line. Obviously, it's time for them to cut bait, because the shock to me is that I did not realize until I read Mike Florio today, they can cut bait at no charge, that he will get no money. Right now, if they cut and he is in default of his contractual obligations.
Yes.
He is in default. So they have every right to say goodbye, and they owe him zero. And Florio did point out, which I got to point out one more time, his $1 million bonus was tied to 2 workout bonuses of $500,000 this year and next year. He failed to qualify already for the first $500,000 because he couldn't make 85% of the workouts where all you have to do is merely walk in the door.
Be present.
That's all you have to do is walk in the door. I don't even think you have to work out.
Yeah, they let you work out, Skip, but you run a couple of wind sprints and you lift a little weights and, you know, you keep
Just
it
be
moving.
there.
Yes,
It's more of a show-up bonus, right?
Yeah.
Just to show up. Okay, so it sounds like from all I read that starting with Mike Mayock, because he threatened to punch him in the face, but starting with Mayock, then everybody else in the front office, all the way up to Mark Davis, the owner, they're all out. They say, cut bait because we don't owe him 1 cent. It sounds like the only guy on the fence is the head coach. But I think, from all I gather, the head coach has final say.
He does.
He's got 10 years at $100 million, $10 million a year.
Yes.
So will he be able to say, give up? Because John Gruden loves Antonio as a football player.
Yes.
He has raved about his practice energy, and he predicted on Hard Knocks, 84 will lead this league in energy. When it comes to practicing hard, when he shows up for practice and playing hard, he's top of the list, right?
But at the end of the day, Skip, we know who has final
Okay.
say because Coach Belichick has final say.
Okay.
No, Bob Kraft got final say.
Okay, well, you could be right.
And
Maybe in the end, it's Mark Davis who's just going to say, you know what, I've just seen enough.
It saved me 30 minutes, Skip. John Gruden still has yet to coach Antonio Brown.
Yep.
He loved his passion and his work ethic when he didn't have to coach him. Now he sees what Mike Tomlin had to deal with for the last 7-8 years,
I know.
and he's like, "What the? How?"
And it was funny when Gruden was asked yesterday, how are you going to prepare without Antonio for Sunday? And he's like, well, I have been preparing the whole camp without him. I haven't had him yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Why have we been doing the last 4 months?
Skip, this is ridiculous, man.
Okay.
And Greg, you know, we talk about it, Greg. You get all that money and you give it back. You know what we said in our community. How could he mess that up?
What?
How you get the bag and fumble it away? You worked all your life to get in this situation, and you fumble the bag.
No, you don't even fumble it.
You gave it back.
Throw it away.
Well, Rosenhaus describes it as salvageable. That's a tall
No,
order. If it
no.
is, he earns that 3%. Greg, thanks so much
That's
for
Joe.
being here. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. From one high-profile receiver to another, Odell Beckham Jr. may not have the Browns debut he was planning on. That's up next.
mercy.
The Browns hype train is so real that, at least according to Baker Mayfield, it's what makes people want to root against Cleveland. Part of the hype due to all the weapons Baker has on that offense. Earlier this week, first-year head coach Freddie Kitchens said Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, and Nick Chubb will all get plenty of touches. He will, quote, make everyone happy. After missing the entire preseason, OBJ is expected to play Sunday despite dealing with a hip injury he said prevents him from going full speed. Take a listen.
It's like an extremely fast car with like a little alignment or something off, you know, and it's like right in the center of what you need. Now the car can still go, but it's dangerous, you know what I mean? So it's just something that I've just been trying to figure out in and out of rehab every single day. Never really dealt with anything like that.
Sure, not a fun team to talk about. Shannon, what do you expect from the Browns this season?
You know, Skip, I picked them to win the division, and I think they have all the pieces to win the division, though they haven't won the division since before my rookie year. My rookie year was 1990. They won the division in 1989. And they have all the pieces. They got 2 receivers. They got a tight end in Njoku. They got a strong running game in Nick Chubb. They get Kareem Hunt after week 8. So they have everything. A defense. You get Myles Garrett, who went to the Pro Bowl last year. You brought in Olivier Vernon to pair with him. Denzel Ward. Skip, they have pieces.
They do.
I love the middle linebacker, Schobert. They have everything. The question is, and I think a lot of people have reservations, Freddie Kitchens, head coach, calling plays. We know it. And now what we have, these things, they always kill expectations. People expect things from the Browns now. And we're going to see if Baker is able to take, because I love what I saw from him last year, especially as he closed out the season. The question is he going to take that next step? How good would Freddie Kitchens be as an as a head coach, offensive coordinator? And can they handle the expectations? Because the expectations are they're sexy, they're chic pick to go places this year. And I believe they possess all the tools. The question is, can they put it together?
Baker Mayfield currently has the #1 selling jersey in the National Football League. Who knew?
Old shake and bake?
Old shake and bake. And I'm pounding my desk 1 year ago right now saying, play the man. Did I not say that?
Yes.
You Jackson, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Remember at the end of Hard Knocks, I'm saying, what are you doing?
What he gave him, he earned the backup job, Skip.
Congratulated Baker Mayfield, the #1 overall pick, on winning the backup job over Drew Stanton? Seriously? And look at Baker now. And yet, when I saw Odell, I watched those comments yesterday, I fell off my chair. Wait a second. He's yet to play a single preseason game, and obviously yet to play a single real game for his new team, the Cleveland Browns. And he's already saying he's hurt somehow. Now, again, was he, as they say in golf, sandbagging? Was he exaggerating the injury just to set up DBs to think that he can't run past them anymore? I don't know. It sounded legit to me, and he even went so far as to say, I've never had anything like this before. Wait a second. We haven't even gotten started yet, and you've got something that is potentially going, what is Shannon Sharpe? What does he always say? You limp into the season, you limp out of the season. Am I right?
Ooh, yes, it is. And what makes it so bad, Skip, he's on a new team. And it was injury. You remember at the last couple of years, Skip, it was injury after injury.
He missed, I wrote it down, 12 games in 2017. He missed 4 last year, but it seemed like he missed 14 last year.
Right. And you go into a new team, you want to get off to a great, a fast start, make a great impression to show why, okay, this is the Odell that we've been seeing for the Giants making all these plays and 100-yard games, and then you nicked up. And Odell is a guy, Skip, he's great. He's tremendous in and out of cuts. Well, you kind of need your hips. You kind of need to be able to go full speed, Skip, in order for you to work at your maximum. And if he's nicked up a little bit, I don't really know. Slow feet don't eat.
They don't. So my prediction about the Cleveland Browns is Odell will be at the center of turmoil all season long. The AFC North version of Gruden versus AB will be Freddie versus Odell all year long. And Freddie wants to love Odell, and I think Odell wants to love Freddie. But Freddie went off the other day about, I can figure this out. I'm going to paraphrase his quotes, but he was saying, we can keep everybody happy in this. I will make it, it's up to me. I will keep everybody happy. No, you cannot.
You cannot.
Unless Baker can throw 2 footballs at once with his left hand and his right hand.
Because Skip, I remember when we really got good, like 96, 97, 98, somebody had to suffer.
Denver,
because you had because you had TD was running for 15, 17, 2,000 yards, which requires 300 to almost 400 carries. You know, I'm getting 80 balls. Well, Rod want 80 balls. Ed want 80 balls. Well, something got to give, Skip. Everybody can't get 80 balls.
And those 3 personalities you just talked about were not even in the same universe with the egos, right?
No, not even close. Okay?
So Jarvis and Odell obviously are soulmates from way back in Louisiana.
Right.
But just watch. They're going to start to grate on each other's nerves because they both need the football. And they have a track team of receivers, and all those young ones, they want a little sugar, just a little bit. And Freddie Kitchens, I'm going to point it out one more time. He has never coordinated. He's never called plays until the second half of last year. And now he is a first-time head coach. So he's going to be the head coach and the play caller.
Right.
And I got to tell you, he has no idea what he's in for.
No.
This is going to be hard on him.
And people think it's easy to play with your friends, especially if you play very similar positions. Skip, I love my brother. That's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to play on his team because I know him. He knows me. He gonna want the ball. I want the ball too. so in order for us to stay brothers and stay friends, he needed to stay in Green Bay and I needed to stay in Denver.
No, that's a good point. I would agree. So I still think the Steelers are a little better than the Browns, and I'm hoping against hope because I love Baker so much, that they squeeze in as a wild card team. I would love to see it. It'll be the greatest show in the NFL this year. It'll be must-see TV, but I'm fearful they're going to be a 9-7 team.
We will see. First test comes this weekend for them. All right, up next, Kyler Murray makes his regular season debut Sunday. Woo. Will he justify going number 1 overall? The guys will tackle that one up next.
No mercy.
Rookie quarterback Kyler Murray and rookie NFL head coach Cliff Kingsbury still trying to figure each other out. Kingsbury admits it's, quote, like pulling teeth, trying to get his rookie signal caller to tell him which plays he likes and doesn't like. Kingsbury says Kyler is only guilty of wanting every single play to work. A lot of folks curious about how this one shakes out. Shannon, what are your expectations for Kyler Murray Sunday?
Oh, he want all the plays to work on, Skip. Oh, he think he at Oklahoma, and he gonna play some little FCS team, and everything that they call is just gonna be a touchdown.
Keep talking. Keep going.
First 15.
You're digging a hole.
First 15, Skip Bayless, the New England Patriots. You don't think Tom Brady is telling Josh McDaniels, I like these plays? Drew Brees telling Sean Payton.
Yep.
That's the whole purpose of it. We
That
get a
is.
third down situation. Mike
Yep.
Shanahan called me over to, hey, 84, what you like?
Yep.
Well, I'm hey, Mike, hey, come on, bruh. But you in for a rude awakening. Because you know what, Skip Bayless? The Lions' defense are better than people think, or better than you would actually think they are. They were 10th in overall defense last year, 8th in pass D, 10th in rush D. The one thing they can do, play defense. Now, their middle linebacker is going to be out. He's down. Down is listed as doubtful. But, Skip, this is the NFL. And I think the thing is there's two things working here. There are a lot of head coaches, defensive coordinators, and yada, yada, that want to make Cliff Kingsbury look really bad because they think he got an opportunity that they've been waiting for years and was never afforded that opportunity. We saw that in the second preseason game with the Raiders and Paul Gunther. He blitzed him into oblivion.
He did.
That was not so, that was, yeah, okay, we want to see what we work on our blitzes for Kyler, but that's for you too. Because you think it's easy. You think that we just spread, we'll space the receivers and just have areas you can just run to. We're just going to play pitch and catch. That's not how it works up here. You're in the big leagues now. But I think the thing is with Kyler, will he have a play here or there, Skip? Yes, he's going to have his splash plays. But they play for keeps up here. You're playing for tuitions. Yeah, you're playing for mortgages. Ain't no more training
Really?
table. Nah, you don't play for that. No books and tuition. They don't do that up here.
Really?
They play for mortgages. They play for private school tuition, Mercedes, Lambos, Ferraris. That's what they play for up here. And they don't want him to keep them from getting that. So you're going to find out on Sunday what it's really like. And him too.
The man who's in for the rudest awakening is sitting across from me come Sunday.
You think they're gonna win?
That special little player wearing number 1 right there, he's going to light it up on Sunday. I love what Cliff Kingsbury said about Kyler Murray because I think it was right from Cliff's heart because he's just saying to the media, you guys talk to him all the time. You read him? No, you can't. Doesn't say a whole lot, shows no emotion, but he also shows no fear and no vulnerability because Cliff says, what do you like? He says, all of them. I'll run them all. I'll make them all work.
No, you won't. Well, why'd you do that against Alabama? You had an opportunity to do that. Why'd you do that
He
then?
threw for 300 and ran for 100 against Bama and nearly brought them
Not
all
enough.
the way back. He had the worst ever top team
Not
defense
enough.
in the history of college football.
It wasn't.
He had to
enough.
win every game 45-44. Alabama had 10 times the defensive talent that Oklahoma had last year.
If you that guy,
Yeah.
he gonna make everything work. That's what he telling Cliff. Call a play, I'll make it work.
What did Shannon Sharpe say all year long? Tua's got this. He's got the Heisman. What did I keep saying? Nope, that little guy at Oklahoma, he's got this.
Yeah,
did I not keep? I told you all
What
year
was it
long,
that-
and you finally had to give up and give in.
But let me ask you a question. Had he been not playing in the fourth quarter, like Tua, would he have won the Heisman? Tua sitting on the bench drinking Gatorade. He got nicked up, but that's okay. All Kyler Murray did was delay the inevitable. We're going to win it this year, though. But you're going to see
Baker
on Sunday.
Mayfield put up the greatest stats in the history of college football 2 college football seasons ago, and that little man came along the next year and topped them. That's hard to do. You want to talk about filling big shoes?
Yeah, and guess what
You want
happened?
to talk about pressure?
And both of them ran into a team that plays in the SEC, and what happened, Skip? Back to Oklahoma,
No
they win.
defense.
Back
Oklahoma
to Oklahoma.
can't play defense.
No. You just said Baker Mayfield put up the best stats
He
offensively.
did. It took 2 overtimes for Georgia to beat them. 2 overtimes.
Oh, no, but you didn't
And
say
by
it.
the way, speaking of getting nicked, Baker got nicked in that game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they had a 14-point lead. Oklahoma had a 14-point lead with Baker Mayfield, who just put up the
know what?
greatest stats.
That's college. It's
Oh!
over. It's
Oh!
distant memory. Heisman, and here comes another Heisman with Jalen Hurts.
No, it's not.
So here's what's going to happen Sunday. I believe, and I'm going to pick this strictly with heart overhead, I think Arizona is going to shock Detroit. Detroit's only a 2.5-point favorite at Arizona.
They shouldn't be a favorite. The
I
home
think
team
here we
get 3
go.
points automatically, right?
I'm just saying. They're a bad football team.
Yeah.
But they do have Larry Fitz, and they got Crabtree, and they got Christian Kirk, and they got Larry Johnson to run the ball, and then they got the new Keyshawn Johnson and Trent Sherfield, and they got enough weapons. He's going to light them
David
up.
Johnson.
Or David Johnson.
He's a
Right. Yeah.
But hold on, Skip. Cliff says, I don't want to really show a whole lot as far as formation and passes.
Yeah.
Okay, what about blocking? You didn't want to show that on tape? You didn't want to put that on tape, huh?
You know what? Detroit will try to blitz the fool out of
And
that
they
little
will
man,
be
and he will be ready
successful.
for it, because what happened when Minnesota tried to blitz the fool out of him, Minnesota got burned again and again in preseason game number 3, the dress rehearsal game. Watch and weep.
Great stuff, guys. I want a replay of that, whatever that was later on. But up next first, does Tom Brady have enough help to pull out a win over the Steelers Sunday?
Oh, not
We'll debate
him.
that up next.
No mercy.
The Patriots aren't just Super Bowl favorites. They're also 6-point favorites in their season opener against the Steelers. That according to Fox Bet. Tom Brady will be without first-round pick N'Keal Harry, who starts the season on IR, but Brady does have Josh Gordon back. So, Skip, who pulls out the win Sunday?
Shannon Sharpe, a long time ago on this show, I picked New England over Dallas in the Super Bowl, and as we repicked today, I did not flip. I stuck right with it.
Surprise.
A long time ago on this show, I said Pittsburgh will upset New England on opening Sunday night at Foxborough, and I am sticking with it. Pittsburgh 27, New England 24, because I have told you, Pittsburgh is a little better than Cleveland. I think a little happier, and will stay a little happier than
definitely.
Cleveland. And Pittsburgh is going to win the North. Pittsburgh, a cloud has lifted off that locker room, the A.B. Le'Veon cloud, and Ben Roethlisberger has demonstrated to me through the offseason he's at least trying to become a little better leader, because I think he learned some hard lessons last year. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm picking to be the surprise MVP of this league. I think he still has plenty of weapons in Juju and James Washington. We can go on, and obviously James Conner. One of the best offensive lines in football. And Devin Bush, who I said was the steal of the first round of the draft, will become the driving force of a new, improved Pittsburgh defense. I think they're going to be a surprise team with a shocking opening night win over a New England team that will take a while to get in stride, because there is, as you point out, no N'Keal Harry. And all of a sudden, it looks like Brady's going to be stuck with aging receivers, and nobody's really played much in the preseason. And here
stuck.
we'll go. Yep.
Stuck.
Yep, stuck. Yep.
Interesting. I'm taking the Pats.
Well, that's the first.
I'm taking the Pats. I got 27 points. You got 27 for the Steelers. I got 27-20. Brady is 8-3 against Roethlisberger, including the playoffs. And for some reason, they just seem to have the Steelers' number. Coach Belichick does a great job taking away what you do really, really well, especially your best player. Now, I believe Juju now takes over that role. They will find a way to neutralize him. And James Washington and Connor and Vance McDonald will have to find ways to beat. Because you're not, Coach Belichick will refuse to allow your best player to beat him. And if you're good enough, you got auxiliary players, a B, a C, that can take over, Coach Belichick's good with that. But he's not going to let your best beat him. And the jury is still out. I understand I like Devin Bush also, but the jury is still out with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, Skip. I'm still not in love with the back end. I know Joe Hayden is spectacular, but outside of him, I don't really love what they do. But I think also something you mentioned earlier, the AB fiasco. Can you imagine having to deal with this dude Monday through Saturday? And then you had to deal with him the whole week if he didn't get 10 passes for 150 yards. That
Okay.
cloud, that burden's lifted.
Okay, thank
Everybody
you.
can now relax and go play football.
Okay.
Ben doesn't have to worry about, I got to throw 20 targets at this dude. I don't know what the thing was with Le'Veon. I don't know why they fell out of love with Le'Veon. Le'Veon just wanted his money. I don't know if he missed practice or missed walkthroughs or anything like that.
It sounded like the whole locker room turned on Le'Veon.
It did, and it seemed like they lumped him in. But that was the thing, though, Skip. Knowing what was going on with AB, how they still loved AB and turned so quickly on Le'Veon. But hey, they have their reasons for whatever reason. But I'm taking the Patriots to win this game 27-20 over the Steelers.
I love that you're picking that game that way. And again, I'll be the first to say, I hope I'm wrong about this, but I think that New England losing opening night in Foxborough will be the best thing that could happen to the New England Patriots because they will take off from that game. Because then Belichick will be able to say, I'm on to, here we go. Yeah. Right?
But
they've had some early season disasters
look,
before.
The offenses normally start a little slow, but Tom Brady, he'll find a way. He and Julian Edelman, you might mention those receivers might be aging, but they're big body guys. They can make tough contested catches. Like I said, Demaryius has something to prove. He wants to prove that he's not on his last legs. I don't believe he'll be the Demaryius Thomas that he was with Peyton in his first year after Peyton left, but I still believe he's still can have a big season.
And yet you're the one who told me that Josh Gordon will be little to no factor this year because he's aging.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him last year with that piano on his back. Yeah.
Okay, so
might have
on back,
and an organ. Might have a
Demaryius.
piano and an organ now.
Really? Yeah. And Julian hasn't been able to play because he broke his hand.
But ain't nothing wrong with his legs.
Yeah.
He still can run.
All right.
We'll get our first look this weekend. It'll be interesting. All right, guys, one more topic to tackle today. Do Skip and Shannon think the Eagles will blow out the Redskins? They'll tell you up next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic. Carson Wentz and the Eagles start their season as 10-point favorites at home against the Redskins, according to Fox Bet. Head coach Doug Peterson said earlier this week he wants Wentz to rely more on his teammates and not try to do it all himself. Shannon, will the Eagles win by more than 10 points?
Cover?
Yeah.
Says Shannon Sharpe.
Probably 24-10, something like that. Yeah, it'd be
Something like
at
that?
least 14.
Really?
Because one team has walk it to them, who's going to be in the running for MVP all year long.
Really? You mean limp it to him, right?
And the other team has Case Keenum.
Well,
on it.
garbage.
Yeah,
Garbage.
I Skip. That's not what I
Pure
said.
garbage, says
That's
Shannon Sharpe,
all
Hall
I'm
of
saying.
Famer.
One team has an MVP level quarterback, and the other team has a quarterback that's on his 6th or 7th team since he's been into the NFL. So yes, they will cover this bet, and they will show the world why they're favored to represent the NFC.
One team has huge expectations at home on opening day with a loaded roster. The other one, nobody gives them a chance. They
Nope.
got a gutty little battler at quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's going to go down there and battle.
Gutty,
and fill it up.
you said that right, Gutty.
Yeah.
Gutty.
Interesting.
Not the way you
10
think it,
points is way too many for a division rivalry game.
Okay.
Way too many. I'll take 10. Give me Washington.
Got
10.
him.
Got it.
Got
Case.
him.
We got a case?
Case.
A case of
Finally.
this.
Do I
Right?
get a case of this if I win?
Here we go.
I get a case of this if I win?
I can't afford that.
At least we agree on a bet.
We got a bet. That's the bet. We got to have at least one bet every week. At least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
We usually have 7.
No.
Because
I'm
you're
not
lucky.
no.
You're
I'm not-
lucky that I lose track of them because you lose
No.
all of them.
What I'm not going to do this year is let you finagle me down.
Really?
I come in with a bet that says, okay, I want 7 points, and then I end up letting you talking me down and giving you 3 or 4. That's not going to happen this year, Skip.
Okay. I will take Dallas minus 6.
7.5.
7.5?
Yep.
6.5.
7.5.
Oh, come on.
Tub. I did that tub and a half.
Well, we just did 10, right? Huh?
Nope. Yeah, I gave you the full 10. Okay, I tell you what,
You said they're going to win by like.
I tell you what I do.
24.
I'll take the Giants in 6.5 if you give me Philly plus 8.
Plus 8?
Yeah.
9. I'll do it 9.
No, 8.
Y'all can do this all day.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.